What's going on, guys? This is Chandler Smith, and I'm really excited and nervous about the video today because it's something I've wanted to talk about for a long time, but I don't want it to come off as arrogant because I want to explain the difference between someone who's poor and someone who's wealthy and kind of everyone in between and why they fall into the category that they do. So I'm going to explain some huge principles on things that you can do to make sure that you maximize your wealth. So with that being said, let's jump into it. Now, to start this video, I want to talk to you about someone who is very near and dear to my heart. And this is my grandpa. And the reason I want to talk to you about him is I think a lot of times when we talk about wealth, we talk about mindset. We talk about how hard of a worker you are, how driven you are, how willing you are to make the sacrifice to become wealthy. And I'm going to tell you right now, my grandpa was not wealthy in a financial sense. However, he worked harder than anyone I've ever met. He was extremely driven. He could put his head down and just go to work and create something that was beautiful. And he was very passionate about it. He put everything into it, and yet he didn't make a lot of money. He worked as a carpenter. He always took care of the people that he worked for, and he always produced something that was absolutely extraordinary. However, he was in a situation where for some reason he never got to the point where he was very wealthy. And that's why I want to kind of put a lot of these things to rest, because I'm sorry, if you're the hardest worker in the room, if you're more driven than anyone else, if you're willing to make more sacrifices, if you're willing to do all of those things, that is not the perfect equation to become wealthy. As a matter of fact, what I've found is all of those things are essential to becoming successful and to becoming wealthy, but they only work if one other principle is applied. And that one principle that my grandpa missed, and it wasn't a fault of his own, but it's finding a job where when you do all of those things, it pays you higher than other jobs. Now, I know you're like, well, no crap, Chandler, obviously. But the thing is if you're working a job where the most you can make an hour is $20 an hour, then it doesn't matter how hard you work. If the cap is $20 an hour, that is all you're going to make. And with my grandpa's situation, it was unique because he was either paid hourly or he was paid by the job, and he was in a situation where he was always more than fair with people, which I also don't want to fault him for. I think it was awesome that he produced such an incredible product for these people at such a good price, and there's nothing wrong with that. However, you are in a situation where if you are capped on what you can bid for a job or on what your hourly wage is, it doesn't matter how hard you work or how well you save, you're not going to become wealthy because it just doesn't build on itself fast enough. I don't care who you are, if you're making $20 an hour for your entire life, it's impossible to get to a situation where you're ahead unless you use that money and leverage it like you can in real estate, or unless you find a way to make more than that $20 an hour. And that's why so often I am so excited to tell people about a sales job or about other opportunities where the cap is endless, where you're in a situation where the harder you work, the more sacrifice you make, the more you're willing to put in, the more that you can make, and then learning how to leverage that into training other people to do what you do, or into using the money you've made and leveraging it in real estate. That then gives you the ability to push your cap higher and higher, to where you might make $20 an hour now, but then it can go to 50, and then 100, and then 500, and then 1,000, and then 10,000, to the point where there is no limit. But I am telling you right now, if you do not find a job or a way to invest your money to where you can leverage that skill set to pay you more per hour, it will be impossible for you ever to become wealthy. And the big reason I wanted to do this video is I have so many people that come to me and they say, Chandler, I really want to get ahead. I want to put myself in a good place. And I say, awesome, what's your plan? And they say, well, I'm going to go to college for 4 years. I'm going to take out this debt, and then I'm going to get a job that pays me $40,000 a year. Now, I know a lot of you are saying, oh, Chandler, that's the example everyone uses. Well, here's the deal. It's the truth. Whether you go to college or whether you don't, whatever you do, if you're in a job that's only paying you $40,000 a year and you need to spend $40,000 a year to live, you will never get ahead. So you've got to find a way to get a side hustle. You've got to find a way to get paid more hourly. You've got to find a way to bid more per job. You've got to find a way to get paid on a commission to where the more you sell, the more you make. Whatever you do, you've got to find a situation where whatever you're making hourly, you can leverage something to increase what that is. Because I promise you, you're not going to get there any other way. Now, I know there are a lot of you saying, Chandler, I can make $40,000 a year and I can save 10,000 of it and then I can invest it in real estate. And to you, I say that is awesome, especially if you're in a job that you're passionate about, that you love, that you think helps you to serve people in the best way that you know how. That is incredible, and that is an awesome way for you to set money aside and then leverage that money in real estate to where your hourly can increase year on year because you're setting money aside and investing it. So if you've fallen into a situation like my grandpa where you are the best at what you do, you're an extremely hard worker, you're willing to make the sacrifices, you're willing to do what it takes, but you're not in a career path that gives you the ability to grow because you're capped, I am begging you to put yourself in a better situation. Because if you sacrifice, even if you're doing a job you don't love, but you can put your head down and go to work for 5 years, you can put yourself in a situation where you can do what you love every single day, regardless of what it pays, because you've put yourself in a situation where you've created a passive income and you're building on that passive income. And again, you can do that by changing jobs and sacrificing for a couple of years, or you can do that by sacrificing for a couple more years, but making sure you save and put that money into a place like real estate. So the big point I want to make in this video is please find a way to leverage yourself or to leverage your money to where every year you're finding a way where 1 hour worked by you gets paid more and more every single year. And even if it's a slower path than the path I've taken through door-to-door sales, where if I work harder, I can get paid a bigger commission. And if I recruit people to come and work and I train them properly, and then they can all put on accounts, I make more and more every hour that I work. Or by investing in real estate, even if you don't choose that path, find a path that gives you the ability to make more and more every hour, every year than you did the year previous, because then you will be on a path to creating wealth. But you will never create wealth if all the money you have coming in never increases and if you're always spending all of that money that's coming in. So with that being said, I really hope this video helps you to build wealth and then take that wealth and put it into real estate so that you can build a huge passive income for yourself. And if you enjoyed this video, please push the like button and subscribe to the channel, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the future videos. Thanks guys, have a great day.